While social media algorithms still pump 8% returns and sunsets at Palm Jumeirah, the numbers on Bloomberg terminals tell a much colder story. Behind the filtered glow of Instagram Reels, the yield curves are flattening against a backdrop of rising regional volatility. Dubai is not a country, it is a high-speed financial product. It is a leveraged bet on perpetual stability in the world's most unstable geography, a synthetic oasis maintained by the sheer force of capital flow. High-speed products have a fatal characteristic. The friction force of geopolitical reality can instantly stall their engine. When the momentum stops, the physics of the desert take over with a vengeance that no marketing budget can suppress. Dubai processes about $600 million daily through tourism and aviation. This is a high-frequency metabolism that requires constant, uninterrupted movement to survive. In a 40-day conflict, we are talking about a hole of $24 billion just from operational flow. This is not just a temporary dip, it is a systemic hemorrhage that drains the liquidity required to keep the artificial life support systems running. When Emirates is grounded, Dubai is no longer a logistics hub, but an isolated luxury warehouse. The runways, once the pulsing arteries of global trade, become silent monuments to a connectivity that vanished overnight. Unlike historical hubs, 90% of Dubai's population is made up of expats. There is no plan B for a society that exists only as long as the residence visa remains valid and the bank account remains full. Managers who pay 5,000 euros in rent and support the service ecosystem have no roots. They are economic nomads, attracted by the absence of tax and the presence of air conditioning, but bound by nothing else. They are there for safety and profit. When the first of those pillars crumbles, the second becomes irrelevant. When the global hub becomes desert again in 40 days, the second the risk of a drone or a missile appears, their loyalty is equal to the time needed to book a ticket to Singapore or London. In the digital age, capital flight happens at the speed of a fiber optic pulse, and human flight follows just hours later. Without this consumer segment, luxury real estate becomes toxic passives. The big financial sharks have already activated their de-risking protocols. They are quietly offloading positions while the exit is still wide enough to pass through. They are now selling asset packages to retail investors, the small minnows who believe that Dubai real estate is a safe brick. These retail buyers are catching a falling knife, convinced by brochures of a future that the smart money is already mourning. In a city where the visa is tied to the job, a massive exodus means tens of thousands of housing units empty simultaneously. It is a domino effect where one empty apartment triggers a default, and one default triggers a collapse of the entire neighborhood's valuation. The result? A correction of over 50% is not a pessimistic scenario, but a mathematical certainty of lack of demand. When the bid-ask spread widens to infinity because there are no buyers left in the heat, the market price becomes a ghost. An 80-story tower in the desert is a machine that consumes millions of dollars each month to avoid being swallowed by heat and corrosion. It is a vertical life form that requires constant electricity, desalinated water, and specialized maintenance to fight the relentless entropy of the sand. If owners flee and service charge collections stop, structural degradation turns luxury into glass ruin in less than a season. The salt in the air and the 50-degree sun are patient predators. Without human intervention, the future oxidizes in real time. Dubai was an investment based on geopolitical trust, not on classic economic fundamentals. It was built on the premise that the world would always be flat and the skies would always be open. Today, that trust has a crack. While small investors hope for a comeback, smart capital has already left the building. They have moved their ledgers to safer jurisdictions, leaving the minnows to guard the empty towers. History taught us with Beirut in the 70s that the Paris of the East can become a field of ruins in a decade. The transition from cosmopolitan splendor to sectarian rubble is often faster than the architects ever imagined. Dubai, with its ultra-artificial structure, can make this journey in just a few weeks. Because it lacks the organic resilience of a real city, its fall is as vertical as its skyline. The difference is that in Dubai, 90% of the population has no roots. There is no local populace to rebuild, no deep-seated culture to hold the ground when the sirens start. If the light goes out, the last expat does not turn off the light, but simply leaves the Tesla keys in the airport parking and disappears. The desert does not care about unpaid car loans or abandoned penthouses. It only cares about reclaiming its territory. When the oasis is built on speed, stopping inevitably means sand.